Because you have to die first. The inner you, the you that was created by this country has to die. When that pride dies and you become humble, this word gets easier to understand. Israelites, our purpose is to remind you of who you are, because you are lost people, lost to your name, language, and nationality, and your God, which we say power, or Yahweh. Because we are in this nation, we were brought to this nation because of our wickedness against the Most High. We were brought into slavery because of our wickedness against the Most High.
Push that word, push the word of Yahweh.
So what we're here to do, the purpose of us giving you and speaking about your nationality is so that you know the importance and the job you have to do when it comes to this word. Because if you don't know who you are or why you are, this book won't mean much to you. You won't know as much. You won't understand as much. You have a question, brother?
I want to talk to y'all. I want to be on the camera.
You want to be on the camera. Yeah. So let me ask you real quick. Are you here? You want to know what this is about? Yeah. All right, we are the Hebrew Israelites. We are on Romans 9, 4, and 5. You know who the Israelites were according to this Bible?
Yeah.
Who do you think they were?
The Israelites were God's children. It didn't matter if they were in bondage or not, but they were God's children. It didn't matter if they listened or not, but they were God's children.
It didn't matter if they listened or not?
They had to listen, but it didn't matter if they had to listen or not. The most important thing, the Israelite symbols were known as God's children.
Okay, so the Israelites are God's children. Yeah. Okay. Romans 9, 4, and 5. We're going to tell you, this is Paul speaking, who the Israelites are.
Romans chapter 9, verse 4. Who are Israelites?
Who are Israelites?
To whom pertaineth the adoption?
The adoption. We were adopted by the Most High from the earth. He chose us. Go ahead.
And the glory.
The glory of the kingdom that's coming. Go ahead.
And the covenant.
And the covenants, the testimonies, the Old and New Testament. Go ahead.
And the giving of the law.
The law came through the Most High, hit Moses, and came to us. We're supposed to give the dispensation of the law. We teach the law. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the service of the Most High.
And the service of the Most High. All of that together is doing the service of the Most High, putting His word out and reminding His people who they are. Go ahead.
And the promises.
And the promises. All the promises He gave the Old and New Testament is what He promised to the Israelites.
Whose are the fathers?
Whose are the fathers in the beginning, prior. Go ahead.
And of whom, as concerning the flesh.
This is important. And of whom, concerning the flesh, who came?
Christ came.
Christ came concerning the flesh of the Israelites. His purpose was to come for redemption of the Israelites. Go ahead.
Who is over all.
Who is over all. Who manifested, who made everything here. Go ahead.
Most High blessed forever.
The Most High blessed forever. Amen. So the Israelites gave the law. We did the adoption, glory, covenant, service to the Most High. Everything was passed down to the Israelites. The problem we had is when we disobeyed the Most High, we started to lose that position. So He had to punish us. He had to put us in slavery in Babylon and in Persia and all these places because we weren't following the law. But the law still comes through us. The problem is we're on a lower level now than we were before. This is our last slavery. You give me, we got it. Go ahead, Amos 3:2. So to know the reason we're standing here today. Go ahead, brother. Yeah. All right, matter of fact, read that. Go ahead. Give me Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 12.
Go ahead.
And now, Israel, what doth the Most High thy power require of thee?
Now it's saying, what does the Most High require of His people, Israel? Because Israel, if you look at this chart, there's 12 tribes. You hear Jews say, oh, we're Jewish or whatever the case is. That's true. You're Jewish. You're almost like a Jew. We're from the tribe of Judah, from Levi, Benjamin, and all the tribes. All of this is to us. All these people walking around here are the people we're out here to get because we're in captivity. Go ahead. What does the Most High require of us?
But to fear the Most High thy power.
Fear the Most High. The reason people don't fear the Most High is because they've been miseducated about who He is. He is the King, ruler, just, balanced, good, and evil. It's not evil coming from the Most High. We perceive it as evil because we don't like it.
Right.
He puts out punishment however he sees fit. Whatever we did, we deserve to get it. If we go outside and one of us throws our hands up and he gets shot, ask yourself, what did he do to the Most High? Because the Most High passed that judgment. That cop was used as a tool to take this man out for punishment and also an example to you to get your life right so you don't have to deal with that. He'll put a hedge of protection around you. You got more? Go ahead, Al.
To walk in all his ways.
To walk in his ways. Whatever he says out of his books for us to do, that's what he expects us to do. Go ahead.
And to love him.
And to love him. And to love him. We can just say, oh, I love him. That doesn't necessarily mean anything yet. You're just saying something. That's why I said that's lip service. How do you show me? Just like a woman, right? You can say, oh, I love you all day. She wants you to show it. The same with the Most High. You have to show it by your works, by following his law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
And to serve the Most High thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
With all your heart and all your soul. Meaning, go out and do it to the best of your ability. If you fall, get back up again. You got more?
To keep the commandments of the Most High.
To keep the commandments of the Most High. There was 10 main commandments that we all dwell on. If you can keep those 10, you're pretty much walking in the way that you should walk. Not giving in to idols, respecting the Most High for who he is, keeping his Sabbath. All of those things is showing love to the Most High. The first 4 of the commandments, the what about it? The first 4 of the commandments, right? And it says here, he spoke these words, right? You should have no other gods before me. That's showing love to him. Right? Let's go to commandment number 2. Thou shalt not make thee any graven image. No idol worship. Now what does it say in number 3? Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High in vain. We don't use it in any ridiculous way we feel like and use his name. That's blasphemy. And 4, remember to keep the Sabbath today, which is why we're out here. Keeping his day sanctified and set apart. And reminding people in Exodus 20 and 8, you are not supposed to be doing any shopping. This is a day of rest. This is a day of service to the Most High. You read his word and meditate on his word. And not even using your own words, not even your own conversation. It's supposed to all be about him. If you do those first 4, you're proving love to the Most High. Now, if you go to the next 6, which deals with adultery, fornication, stealing, and theft, you're showing love to your brother when you don't do those things. So this is why you get Christ saying later, hang the 10 commandments on 2. It's not actually just 2 commandments. You're showing the love of the Most High and love of your neighbor. You knock down all 10. And by doing all 10, you did all 613 in this world, except for the sacrifice, which we don't do anymore. Go ahead.
To keep the commandments of the Lord thy power and his statutes.
And his statutes. Go ahead.
Which I command thee this day for thy good.
So he's commanding you all of this for your own good. This is how you walk in life. This is how you become successful in life. Even if you lose your job, your house, your car, whatever the case is, if you do this, believe it or not, you are successful in this life. And he will bestow blessings upon you. It will look like to the world you have nothing, but you have everything. They have nothing. Right. Because what happens? All the clothes and the nice things they have, moths will come, age will come, the clothes will wither away, the car will rust, the home will get destroyed, it will be broken into, but no one can take this out of you. Right. Only you can give this up. Understood?
Amos chapter 3 verse 2.
Go ahead.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
This is him showing Israel, you only have I known of all the families in the earth. I chose you, I spoke directly to you. Go ahead.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Therefore, I will punish you, my children, for all your iniquities. It's the same as your own parent. You go out with your friends, right? I gave you rules. When I told you when you go out the house, don't do this, this, and that. Or you're allowed to do this. When you go outside of what your parents tell you, they're going to punish you. They're not worried about your friends. They'll get this when they pass it on to their parents. Same with the Most High. You're his children. The punishment comes to you because you knew better. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can 2 walk together except they be agreed?
Can 2 walk together lest they be agreed? Imagine you have views about life, or let's say people make it simple with politics. Somebody calls themselves a Democrat and somebody's a Republican. They love this person and the other one loves the other person. They can't walk together. They're going to argue the whole time. They can't see eye to eye. So you have to be in agreement with those you're walking with. You have to be in agreement if you're going to walk in the ways of the Most High. He has to agree with what you're doing. You have to agree to do it. Other than that, there is no agreement. You can't walk with the Most High unless you're doing what he told you.
That's right.
So also,
Yeah, that was good.
oh yeah, okay. So understand, do you have another question?
Come right now. Right now. Let's give him a minute.
All right. Whatever. That's what's gonna have my call. So understand something. The purpose of us being out here is to get you back on track, to get you to who you are, right? You need to know who you are. This is something, a question I had since I was a kid. Who am I?
That's right.
They have schools, right? And they always have these things they do with their families and nationalities. People bring in food. The Irish bring in, what is that, shepherd's pie. Germans might bring in a German chocolate cake. What do black people bring?
Right.
What country does black come from? There is no country where black comes from. And people say, oh, we're African American. We're not African American. We were born in this country. So if we were born in this country, just by paperwork, we're American. But they call us African American, right? Before that, they called us black. Before that, they call us colored and Negro. Our name changes every 10 years like a fad to show you you don't know who you are, so we're going to keep renaming you.
Right.
And as we change the law, we're going to give you another name.
That's right.
To make sure you don't keep up with who you are. Right, you got that in Psalms? The water. All right, awesome. So understand, the whole purpose of the devil is to get you away from your true nationality. Your true nationality will show you that you were always in service to the Most High. It shows you that you belong to the Most High, that you're His. So when you know you're His, then you know how to operate and live throughout with this book. Right?
Psalm 83, verse 3.
Okay.
They have taken crafty counsel
They're taking crafty counsel. They got together and put a thought together. Go ahead.
against our people
Against our people. They took counsel. They talked about our people. Go ahead.
and against our hidden ones.
And against our hidden ones. We're hidden because we don't know who we are. And the world pretends they don't know who we are. It's not a hold up. Go ahead, read.
Can I say something?
They have
Go ahead.
said, come
Right.
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They said, come and let them cut
Can I
them
say
off
something?
from being a nation.
Can I
Hold
say
on a
something?
sec, bro. You will when we finish this point. Let us keep them from being a nation. The whole point
The cigarette, bro.
is
You don't
thank you.
right?
The whole point is to keep us from being a nation. You cannot know who you are because the day we know who we are, the world will know who we are.
Right.
And then they have to acknowledge it and respect that. But they're going to try to kill us all first. Go ahead, finish that.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel, which relates to the Most High, will be no more in remembrance.
One word.
Be humble.
For they have consulted together with
Then you need to understand that.
Hey!
Peace says,
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
they are confederate against it. Again, from the beginning, what happens? They come together and they counsel and they come and plan. What can we do to these Negroes to make sure they don't know who we are? What can we do to keep them in darkness? What can we do to keep them going against each other? Now, just the verse we read before, right?
I'm sorry.
It's appreciated. It's appreciated. I'm sorry. You got a question? Go ahead. What's your question? What's your question?
The question is, what is? To be is. So we answered the what is.
Sorry.
What is to be is.
Continue.
There's your teacher, man.
Continue.
What else you got out?
You can look in the book. No. Look in the book.
You know what, brother? You can listen. If you want to teach something, there's a spot right there. You can teach the crowd everything you want. You can answer those questions. But right here, we're not dealing with that.
No,
Unless
but
it's-
the last thing, I want to apologize because I was trying to be like,
It's-
you know what I'm saying? Everybody do
Understood. Forgiven.
I apologize.
Forgiven.
I apologize.
Jeremiah 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Thou,
that I gave
you, even yourself, you will discontinue from your heritage. This is something that we're dealing with today. We don't know who we were in the past. We keep claiming Egypt. And you know what? For some people, that's fine. You may have very well come from Egypt, but the bulk of us did not. Not everyone that descends from Egypt are kings and queens. They had servants in Egypt. Another thing about Egypt. What book in Egypt told the children of Egypt what their future would be? And how to deal with that same enemy that's going to take their nationality from them.
Right.
And that's going to take who they were from them and their language. The Egyptian gods didn't take the time to tell you that because they weren't thinking about you. You're thinking about them. The Most High, Yahweh, whom you call God, and His Son, the Christ, the Messiah, Yashaya, wrote a whole book not only to tell you everything about you, how to reconnect with Him.
Right.
This is why He said there's no other gods but me.
That's
because
right.
every other God has nothing for you.
Right.
They won't tell you the condition you're in, or how you got here, or how to deal with the enemy that's destroying you.
Right.
They don't care about it. It doesn't exist to them because they don't exist.
That's right.
They're an ideal and an ideology. They're a vain thought. This is why He said you're vain thoughts. You're vain gods because all they do is tell you what you're doing is right. Do you feel like doing that? That's what the gods of the other books tell you. This God tells you, follow what I say, and then you will escape this punishment. He tells you how to handle your enemy. You can be totally humble, and that white man cannot touch you. You can be completely humble, not even look him in his eye, and keep walking, and he got a hedge of protection around you because you followed his law.
That's right.
You can be tough, oh, I'm so-and-so and whatever, and you get shot in the middle of the street, but you followed the Egyptians. And you followed everyone else, but somehow you got killed because they're not looking out for you. They were about themselves.
That's right.
Like this. Joe.
Jeremiah 16, verse 9.
Right.
For thus saith the Most High of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth.
So He will cause to cease the voice of mirth, happiness. All this happiness that we're talking, even in the middle of us being killed, He's going to cause it to cease.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the voice of gladness.
And the voice of gladness, all the things we're glad about, He's going to cause that to stop. Go ahead.
And the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride.
The voice of the bridegroom, He's going to cause His word to be stopped being read, and the bride. So you're not going to hear Christ's voice anymore. You're not going to hear the Messiah's voice anymore. And you're not going to hear us anymore because He's going to cause it to cease. He didn't say when He was going to cause it to cease, but know that it's coming. At some point, we're not going to be out here. At some point, you won't have the opportunity again. When you look back on your life and you say, I wish someone told me, that's today.
Right.
I wish they said, that's today. We're saying it to you today. This is 11:59. It's not, we're still in the 11th hour. We're not at the 12th hour yet. This is in between that slot. You have an opportunity to turn back to the Most High. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass,
And it shall come to pass,
when thou shalt shew these people all these words,
when we shall show everybody all the words of this book. Go ahead.
and they shall say unto thee, wherefore hath the Most High pronounced all this great evil against us?
So they're saying, wait, you reading this book. Why does the Most High decided to punish us? Go ahead.
Or what is our iniquity?
What did we do wrong that He's punishing us? Go ahead.
Or what is our sin
What is our sin? How do we break His law? Go ahead.
that we have committed against the Most High of power?
What do we do against the Most High for Him to punish us this way?
Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me.
Because your fathers forsaken me, our ancestors even down to our very dad and ourselves, go ahead.
Saith the Lord, and have walked after other gods.
We walked after other gods. We turned our back to our original power.
That's right.
We turned our back to our king.
That's right.
Hence, the reason we're in this country. Hence, our black men and even women being shot down because we turned our back to the Most High. Go ahead.
And have served them, and have worshipped them, and
Go ahead.
and have forsaken me.
And you've forsaken the Most High. We serve every other God because it makes us feel good.
That's right.
Versus the one who gave us the actual truth of who we are and what we're supposed to do. It's hard to do this because we've been trained to be selfish. We've been trained to be vain and look only to ourselves and help only ourselves. So when we come to this book and someone tries to give you the true law, statutes, and commandments, you can't do it because you have to die first. The inner you, the you that was created by this country has to die. When that pride dies and you become humble, this word gets easier to understand because He requires a contrite spirit, a spirit that has been broken. This is the time when you go to the Most High. Even in your good days, that's the time to go most of the high, to the Most High, so you can't understand Him. Go ahead.
and have not kept my laws.
We haven't kept his laws. Even to today, the simple law of keeping the Sabbath we haven't kept. In 321 AD, March 7th, Constantine is the one that changed it to Sunday worship.
That's right.
Worshiping the sun. And Constantine also said anyone caught Judaizing, meaning keeping the laws that the Jews or the Israelites kept, will be put to death. So you had the death sitting over your head that if I keep this Sabbath, I might die. So people chose, you know what? I'm going to keep Sunday just like Constantine said. And it was passed down. This is why we keep Sunday. Sunday has nothing to do with our worship. Right. Go ahead.
And ye have done worse than your fathers.
And we've done worse than our fathers. They were limited to the wickedness they could do. We got things that can churn up our imagination. Television, cell phones, and everything around us. The wickedness we have has reached further than what they ever could have done. And we're far worse. Go ahead.
For behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart.
Exactly. We walk after our own evil imaginings. Whatever we imagine, we do. Be it good or mostly bad. Mostly anything we imagine, we do it. We look at a woman, we lust on a woman. This is why I like this sister. Her head is covered. That's great, sister. Her head is covered today. How your head is supposed to be covered on this day, the Sabbath, and worship of the Most High. Good?
That they may not hearken unto me.
They're not listening. They're not coming to me.
Therefore will I cast you out of this land.
Therefore will I cast you out of this land, your home Israel, into another land. You got Deuteronomy, what is that, 28 and 48? We said into Egypt. So we became slaves. We were sent from our homeland because of the wickedness that our fathers did, and it's passed down to us. So if we turn back to the Most High, we can stop that cycle that's been going on. Yeah.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
This is about us being cast. Go ahead.
And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. This country is Egypt. Slakia. This is Egypt. This is the modern day Egypt. This is the modern day slavery of the Israelites. What a lot of you don't realize, you're Israelites, black, Latin, Native American, you are Israelites. This is modern day Egypt. We're in slavery again. There's a pyramid on your dollar bill because this is Egypt. There's an obelisk in Washington because this is Egypt.
That's right.
Everything, the judges in England wore wigs to copy off the pharaohs because that's also Egypt. Everywhere we're enslaved is a modern day Egypt. They're re-enslaving people in Libya today. Modern day slavery, which is right next to Egypt. This is modern day Egypt. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Salakia, and by way of ships. We came here by way of ships. Our ancestors came here by way of ships. This was predicted to happen to the Israelites, not any other nation. This is who we are. This is your history. When you read and reconnect through slavery and everything you need to understand, you will know your purpose. Your ancestors came here by way of ship. There's a reason that that's mentioned in this book, so you can reconnect yourself to the Most High. So then you can understand that I have a purpose in this world besides working, making money, spending it, going to sleep, having sex with you in the bathroom. You have a higher purpose in that. You know that. But this is why we're out here, to tell you what your higher purpose is and who you originally were. Good?
And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And you won't see your home anymore again. There's this myth that they like to say, that I would say the white people started, Edomites in the Bible, that Africans sold Africans into slavery. That is not correct. What you have is in 70 AD, when they took over and Jerusalem was destroyed, the Israelites split and they moved into Africa. And they moved further into West Africa. And we did take on some of the customs, which is why we relate so quickly to Africa, because we knew nothing else. But if you read the history, you'll understand how the Israelites were dispersed into Ghana, into Benin, and into Nigeria, the west coast of Africa. So this is who we are. This is why we identify. So what happened is, the African tribes that were there realized these are Israelites, and we don't want them here. We don't want those people. We don't want that God in our land. Cast them out. So when the Europeans came and the Arabs came to put us in ships, they were more than happy to take their slaves or their prisoners and cast them out.
That's right.
On that note, I'm gonna wrap it up. Sorry. You wanna go? All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And then ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So there, in that land, you will be sold as bondmen and bondwomen. Bond means you were bought, purchased. This is where you hear bonds in the stock market. Bonds. It's actually on bodies, people. And no man shall buy you, meaning no one's going to be able to free you. We think we're free in this country. Here's the thing. We have more freedom as slaves here than we did in the other countries. But we're still slaves.
That's
the very fact that we still have a European last name indicates we are still slaves.
That's right.
We are still property. Until you know what your actual last name was, you are still a slave in bondage. Go ahead. What was that? Yeah, go ahead.
Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
So now this is the Most High telling his children, when you turn back to me and you follow my law, statutes, and commandments and come back to me, I'm going to take care of your enemies. This is where you hear vengeance is mine. So he's inviting all of them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people.
Now he said he will plead with them. He's not begging. He's just saying to them, you might want to let my people go. Go ahead.
And for my heritage, Israel.
And for my heritage, my family, Israel, the Israelites, the children of the Most High. Go ahead.
Whom thou hast scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Who scattered among the nations. We are everywhere throughout the world. There's blacks in China and in India. We're in every country throughout the world. And somehow in every one of those countries, we don't know how we got there. It's a common phenomenon. This is why he said he's going to take our name, language, and everything else because of our wickedness. Go ahead.
And they have cast lots for my people.
They cast lots, money, a purchase of his people. Go ahead.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
Listen to this. They gave a boy for a harlot, meaning they used a boy as a sexual instrument. Again, as you're seeing today in politics, you're hearing all of them being pedophiles. This is the same thing being repeated. What they've done to the children. Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
And sold a girl for wine just so they could have a drink. This is how worthless we are to people. And even though it looks like they care for us and they respect us person to person, on a large scale, they don't care about us. We're getting, again, shot dead in the street. How come no one says it? Go ahead.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
So he's saying to the other countries, Tyre and Zidon, what do you have to do with me? Why are you even involved in this? That's just like you're having an argument, someone jumps in. What do you have to do with this? Go ahead. Yep. Right. And Tyre and Zidon sold us. Go ahead.
And all the coasts of Palestine.
And all the coasts of Palestine. Everywhere around us. Go ahead.
Will ye render me recompense?
Will you repay me? Are you going to do something to me quickly and swiftly? Go ahead.
And if ye recompense me,
and if you recompense me,
swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
I'm going to pay you back. This is not us saying that. This is the Most High. If you do this to my kids, I'm going to pay you back swiftly. Now, people say, well, that was thousands of years. Not to the Most High. That was days. It's only been days, a twinkling of an eye.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
So they took all the riches we had. Even, let's just say, if we go to Africa now, that goes on now. You see, they take everything out, the diamonds, the oil of every country. They took all of our riches and kept it for themselves. Go ahead.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem.
These are the children, go ahead, the Israelites.
Have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Have you sold unto the Grecians. So we can see from Babylon down, we were sold all the way into the time of Greece. Now there was the dark ages in those places where we were in rulership, but then the Europeans came, the Edomites, they came and took over, so we were sold to the Grecians, white people again. So now we're closer to modern day time. Now we know if we look around and we see a lot of these old buildings and libraries, we see the remnants of Greece and Rome. The buildings are built almost the exact same way because it's the same people. It's the same people that enslaved us then, the same ones that's enslaving us today. And they took on the spirit of those Egyptians, which is why he's saying, I'm sending you to Egypt again. Which is why they said Barak was the Pharaoh. because they're trying to subconsciously remind you the position that you're in, and it's in hopes that you catch it before it's too late. But with that, I'm going to say shalom.